Yeah. Ujjwal. Ujjwal, are you there?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am.
Okay, okay. Shall we start the class?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Let us wait for a few more candidates. Only 2 are there.
Okay, ma'am.
Mm. Mm. Let us see. Ujjwal and Divyesh, what is the current topic?
Ma'am, cells, like about cells, ma'am.
Yes, fundamental unit of the life. It is the
Cell,
first
ma'am.
topic in our textbook. So already I delivered 2 lectures, I think.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
So
So
let's
yeah, just today I would like to give the recap of the previous classes. If time permits, I'll start the next class also. Let us wait for a few more, just 2 added, no? Actually, what is the number we have in our 9th class?
Ma'am, it's 5, I think, ma'am.
Yes, yes. Actually, it is the reschedule, no? That's the reason we didn't get the full attendance.
Yes, ma'am. I'm attending since the 6:30, ma'am.
Yeah, yeah. Again, it is rescheduled by
Yes, ma'am.
6:35. Okay, and I'll start the class. Then, if anybody come, in the meanwhile, I'll add them. Okay, na?
Okay.
okay, ma'am.
Okay. Deviation as well is there, no? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, students. Today, once again, I want to give the recap of previous 2 classes. Very short recap. So, the topic name is the fundamental unit of the life. See, children, the fundamental is name itself giving a clue that it is a very basic thing. Every living organism is made up of smallest microscopic units. Those are cells. Presence of the cell is a unique feature for all the living creatures. You know, children, in the nature we have living and non-living things. Okay, there is a great difference is there between living from the non-living. Okay, so though it is a microorganism, whether it is a plant or a animal, so living organism in the sense it should consist of the microscopic part units such as cells. Right. Now, what is a cell actually? Why it is called as structural and the function unit of the living organism? You know, these cells, a group of cells will make the complete organism. So we are the human bodies from the top to till the feet. Okay, head to tail. We have the so many cells. We are the multicellular organisms. So the structure of the animal will get by the cells only, not only animal, plants also, even the small microorganism also. Okay, that is the reason we'll call this cells as a structural and the functional unit of the living organisms. Okay, and let us study about the discovery of the cell. It's very, very important, Amma. You should remember these scientist names. Okay, Robert Hooke. First person we have to talk about Mr. Robert Hooke. What he did know, he observed bark cells under the microscope. Okay, so under his self-invented microscope. Okay, so what did he observe? He observed small partitions, compartments under the microscope. Cork cells. Cork cells means they are present in the bark of the tree. Okay, so then he observed small partitions, small compartments. He named those compartments as a cell. Okay, so this is about the starting invention about our cell biology. One more important point, the study of cell and its structure, functions is cell biology. So for everything, we have different sciences students. Okay, neurology, study of neurons, neurology, study of nerves, nephrology, study of kidney, dermatology, study of skin. So in this way, we have different sciences for studying different things. Okay, cell biology means study of cell and its structure. Next, and so after Robert Hooke, I would like to talk about Mr. Leeuwenhoek. Okay, what he did, so he observed the living cell for the first time. He observed bacterial cell for the first time. So now we should remember who observed living cell for the first time means the answer is Leeuwenhoek. Who observed the cell for the first time means answer is
Robert.
Robert Hooke. Okay.
Robert Hooke.
So in the competitive examinations, obviously we'll get this type of questions to make you to confuse. So people, so students, you don't no need to confuse. So get clarity. Living cell by Leeuwenhoek, dead cell by Robert Hooke. Okay. After these two scientists, we should talk about the Robert Brown. Robert Brown, he observed nucleus in the cell. You know, children, see, I'll show the, here, just see the animal cell. At the center, we have nucleus, no? It is the one of the important cell organelle present in the cell. This nucleus, for the first time, identified by Mr. Robert Brown. Okay. Next, Schleiden and the Swan. These two are the two scientists. They gave cell theory, means after their inventions. So they came to a clarity. Both the Schleiden and the Swan. One is expert in zoology, and other one is expert in botany. So these two people discussed and they gave a three postulates in the form of cell theory. What is the first one? First one is every living organism is having the cells. That's the first point. Okay, second point is that cells are the structural and the functional units of the living organism. This is the second point. And third point is, students, cells are formed from the pre-existing cells. Means, for example, so this cell is there. This cell divides to give new daughter cells. That new daughter cell further divide to give two more daughter cells. So in this way, a single cell is responsible for the formation of so many cells. In this way only multicellular organisms are evolved. So about multi, I'll explain in the next slides. So these are the points under the cell theory. What is the first point? Every living organism made up of the cells. Second point is that cells are the structural and function units of the living organism. And third point is that cells are formed from the pre-existing cells. Am I clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Ra. Thank you. Let us go for the next one. And one more important point is that, so shape and size of the cells. Okay, so they are microscopic units only, but they differ in their sizes, differ in their shapes. Let us see the nephron. Nephron structure. It is like in a loop-like thing. Okay, neuron, long structure, elongated structure. RBC, discoid shape. Fat cells, flat shape. So in this way, if you'll observe muscle cells, it is spindle shaped. Okay, sizes and shapes are varies. So some cells can change their shapes like amoeba. See children, amoeba is a prokaryotic cell. It is unicellular. It is not having the definite shape. It is keep on changing its shape. Okay, indefinite shape we'll say. Amoeba is having the indefinite shape, body shape. In the same like amoeba, we have very important cells in our body. WBC, white blood cells. We can also call them as a leukocytes. Now these leukocytes also keep on change their size, shape. Okay. Now You just see here, smallest cell is PPLG, mycoplasma. Largest one is ostrich egg. Longest animal cell is nerve cell. Very important bits, these three. Smallest one is PPLG, largest cell, longest cell. What is the largest one? Ostrich egg. And the longest one is nerve cell.
Okay, ma'am.
And one more important point, depending upon the number of cells, organisms were classified into two types, unicellular and the multicellular. Uni means single. Okay, the word uni means what, students? Single. So here
Yes, ma'am.
the organism is having the single cell in its body. Only one cell is present. That is unicellular. Examples: bacteria, virus, protozoa, all our amoeba. So all these are the best, paramecium, euglena. All these are the examples of this unicellular organism. Now let us see about the multicellular. Here in the multicellular, so many cells are present. Some organisms, they may have 1,000 cells. Some organisms, they may have the more than 1,000, more than crore. We are the multicellular. We are having some crores of cells in our body. Okay, so that is about the multicellular. Example: all plants, animals, some fungi will come under this multicellular organisms. Okay, now let us talk about the unicellular. What is the specialties of unicellular? Let us discuss. So here in the board, I am displaying the amoeba structure, right? It is the protozoa. See children, it is one of the microorganism. We have 5 different types of microorganisms, students. What are those? Protozoa, bacteria, viruses,
Virus, fungi,
fungi,
and worms.
and algae. In this way, we have 5 different types of microorganisms. Out of all this, for now in present today, I'm going to explain about the amoeba. This amoeba belongs to protozoa. It is unicellular and it is prokaryote. What do you mean by prokaryote and eukaryote? I'll explain the next slide. Now let us talk about the unicellular only. Here, amoeba is a aquatic organism which lives in the marine water. It lives in the marine water, so we'll call it as a aquatic organism. Here, this unicellular, this amoeba is not having proper shape. See, the extension of the cellular body is having some finger-like projections. So these finger-like projections are pseudopodia. Here, pseudopodia.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so with the help of the pseudopodia, our amoeba can walk, can move from one place to other place. So this we can call the pseudopodia as a false feet. F-A-L-S-E, false feet. And so this is the center one is the nucleus, and this all is nothing but a fluid-like substance called cytoplasm, and it is having another important one, contractile vacuole, food vacuole, cytoplasm. These are about the structure of our amoeba. It is unicellular. You know, students, every living organism, whether it is a plant, microorganism, or an animal, performs some basic functions. They are nothing but the life process. So, all these basic functions performed by every living cell in order to sustain in the nature, like nutrition, excretion, respiration, transportation. So, all these are the certain life process performed by every living creature, whether it is a unicellular or a multicellular. It has to perform, then only it can live, otherwise it will die immediately. So now all the function, students, like nutrition, excretion, respiration, everything, so performs by our solo cell, that is amoeba only here. There is the work distribution. The reason is that no other cell to share the work. Only single cell is there, no? So who will share? Nobody is there to share the work of all these things. But in the case of multicellular, we have n number of cells, some thousands of cells in our body. So in such case, work distribution is there. I'll explain in the multicellular. So this is about the uni. Here single cell is present. All the metabolic activity is performed by our single cell itself. Understand? Understand? Response I need. Reply, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, shall I'm going to ask a few questions so far what we covered.
Okay, ma'am.
Respond me. Okay. Amoeba is a type of
Unicellular.
organism. Okay.
Unicellular.
It lives in. It is an aquatic or terrestrial organism.
Aquatic, ma'am.
Okay. Then who discovered the cell for the first time? Scientist.
Robert Hooke.
Okay. Who discovered the living cell for the first time? Ujjwal, can you? Ujjwal? Respond. Who discovered the living cell for the first time?
Robert Hooke.
I think Divyesh said that.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am,
Ujjwal
he's not.
is not there.
Yes, ma'am. No response.
Okay. Let us see. Okay. Next, let us talk about the multicellular organism now. Here in the screen, I displayed cell structure. A cell is having so many internal structures in its body. Before going to know about the cell structure deeply, I let you explain about the multicellular organism. How this multicellular organism is formed. Okay, see students,
Okay, ma'am.
cells are going to form tissues. Tissues are combined to form organs are combined to form organ system. Then finally we'll get a organism. This is the formation of the multicellular organism. I'll give you a small example. Okay, so cells are there, different cells combined to form epithelial tissues. This epithelial tissue combined to form an organ, for example, stomach, you can imagine. Stomach. Next, organ system, digestive system. Alone stomach, only stomach is not in digestive system, no. So, digestive system, it starts with the mouth, esophagus, stomach, intestine, small intestine, rectum, and anus. All these different parts will combine together to form a digestive system. Am I right? So, in this way, cells combine to form a tissues combine to form an organs combine to form an organ system, and see, finally, organism. Only digestive system doesn't form, only it cannot form the total organism, no. So, for example, when I'll talk about human being, so we have the digestive system, I have the nervous system, respiratory system, excretory system, hormonal system, so many systems we have in our body. In this way, so finally, all these organ systems will combine together to form a complete organism. In this way, we'll get the multicellular organism. Now you understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now,
Ma'am.
okay. So, and one more important point, students, in the unicellular, we cannot find the work distribution among the cells. The reason is that solar cell is there. But in the case of multicellular, cells are many, no? So there is a work distribution among different cells. Okay, work sharing is there. So, like for example, transportation we're going to take care by RBCs, WBCs, platelets. Okay, nervous system. So, carrying of the nerve impulse carried by the neurons. Excretion, nephrons are going to take care of the excretion part. So, fat cells, they'll be storing the fat. So, in this way, we are in our body, we have different types of cells. So all these cells, they'll be sharing their different works. Okay. And next thing is that the parts which are present in the cell, let us discuss. See, cell is very small in size. We cannot see the cell with our naked eye, that you know very well. Only with the microscope or electron microscope only we could able to visualize this cell. And discovery of the cell is a great invention. Discovery of the cell is a great invention. So studying of the cell function structures, of course, it's a very great thing. Okay. Now, a typical cell is made up of mainly three parts. First part is nucleus, second one is cytoplasm, and third one is cell membrane. Nucleus, cytoplasm, and cell membrane. First, let us talk about the plasma membrane. So, let us talk about the plasma membrane. You know, here, see the cell is surrounded by a membrane known as plasma membrane. Okay, it is a protective layer. It is a protective layer. So it is going, the main fundamental duty of the cell, membrane is it is going to protect all the internal structures of the cell. And one more important point here, in our cell, so many cell organelles, so many internal structures are there. No, all these are nothing but the cell organelles. Okay, like see, at the center nucleus is there, a lysosome, endoplasmic reticulum is there, Golgi apparatus, and ribosome, cytoplasm, mitochondria, cytoskeletons. All these are the different structures which are present in the cell. These are cell organelles. Okay.
Yeah, ma'am.
Here it is the outermost.
Ma'am, your voice in between it's going very fast, ma'am.
Now, Amma, now it is okay.
Ma'am,
Now okay.
in between your voice is breaking, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. It's like in long. It's going, ma'am.
You just observe 5 more minutes. Then, if you have any complaint, you can tell me. Okay, now
Okay,
okay,
ma'am.
Now it's fine, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
now it is fine, huh?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah. So, but let us talk about the plasma membrane. It is the outermost delicate covering of the cell. It is also called a selectively permeable membrane or semi-permeable membrane because it allows entry of selective substances only. Why we'll call it selectively permeable membrane? See, now we are talking about multicellular organisms. We have n number of cells in our body. Every cell should maintain good rapport with the other neighboring cell. So there should be always flow of some nutrients, ions, minerals from one cell to other cell actually. So at this transportation, this shifting has to facilitated by the something. That something is here plasma membrane. Understand?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Through this layer, through this plasma membrane, this cell can maintain interactions or can maintain connections with the neighboring cell. So through these only, so there is a flow of so many substances such as hormones, proteins, nutrients, all these things will move from one cell to other cell. So the transportation is maintained by the plasma membrane. So it is a good, excellent transporting channel. And why we'll call it a selectively some permeable membrane? It doesn't allows all types of substances. Okay, it's very selectively, it allows the substances to the out and inside. So that's the reason we'll call plasma membrane is a selectively permeable membrane or semi-permeable membrane. It is made up of bilipid layer and proteins. It is made up of, you just see the figure, students. Bilipid. Here, see, proteins are there. Bilipid, carbohydrates, glycolipids, cholesterol. So all these different substances, they're going to organize, they're going to form cell membrane. This cell membrane is also called as plasma membrane. So through this membrane only, substances are going to transfer from inside of the cells to outside of the cell. And let us see the points. It provides shape to the contents which are present in the cell, and this provides mechanical barrier to the cells, and it is selectively allows the movement of substances in and out of the cell which are useful for in functioning of the cell. So first and foremost one is ATP, adenosine triphosphate. For every cell requires ATP, energy, right? So that ATPs can move from one place to other place through this plasma membrane only. Movement of solute particles from higher concentration to lower concentration is called diffusion. See children, how these substances move from one place to other place, simply they'll obey one principle, that diffusion. It is a physical process. Definition of the diffusion is the movement of solute particles from higher concentration to the lower concentration. Here, ions are going to move from high to low. So, example, exchange of the gases during the respiration. See, we'll inhale the oxygen, again we are going to exhale the carbon dioxide. This is by means of diffusion only. And so the movement of solvent particles from lower concentration to higher concentration in the presence of semi-permeable membrane is called what? Osmosis. So osmosis. See, absorption of the water by the roots. So these two principles we should talk about the transportation through this semi-permeable membrane. First and foremost one is diffusion, and the second one is osmosis. Okay. Now, see, about osmosis and diffusion we discussed. Now, I would like to give the differences between the unicellular and the multicellular. Okay. First, students, let us see the point under the unicellular.
Yes, ma'am.
See, the organisms made up of single cell called unicellular. Multicellular, if the organism made up of so many cells called as multicellular. Second point is that in the unicellular, there is no division of labor. A single cell performs all the activities of the organism. So no one is there to share the work of the organism here. Only single cell is there that has to carry out all the activities. But in the case of multi, as the cells are many, so cells are specialized cells are there to perform different functions. Specialized cells, so they are structurally differ, or shape also different, no. So for example, fat cells are there called adipose cells. They will store only fat. Neurons, nerve cells, simply they'll help in the carrying of the nerve impulse from one part to other part. So kidney cells, it is having the nephrons. So nephrons are going to take care of the filtration. Okay, in this way we have in many cells are present in the multicellular. They'll be sharing the work. Next, third point is that the lifespan of the organism is very short in the unicellular. The lifespan of the organism is very short in the unicellular, whereas in the multicellular, it is long. Example for uni, paramecium, amoeba, and the bacteria. And example for the multicellular, so plants, and well as animals. Okay, so
Yes, ma'am.
now let us study the cell membrane now. Cell membrane structures. Now let us discuss. See students, this cell membrane provides definite shape to the cell. Okay, this cell membrane works as a mechanical barrier between the external and internal environments of the cell. This cell membrane acts as a mechanical barrier between the external and internal environments of the cell. And third point is that it regulates the movement of the molecules across this membrane. So it regulates the movement of the molecules. And next important, see children, when I talk about the cell membrane, we should talk about the endocytosis and exocytosis. Okay, what do you mean by endocytosis? So ingestion of the material, so engulfing the material is in exocytosis. Endocytosis means expelling the things from the cell to the outer. That is endocytosis. So endo and exo. Next. So here ATP is there, no? What do you mean by ATP? Divyesh? Divyesh, can you respond? Divyesh. Only Ujjwal is there.
Yes, ma'am. I am only there, ma'am.
Divyesh till now he is there, I think.
Ma'am, shall I say about ATP, ma'am?
What? ATP you can say, Amma.
Ma'am, ATP is adenosine triphosphate, ma'am.
Very good. It stores in which cell organelle?
Ma'am, mitochondria.
Very good. Okay. And so within 2 more minutes, the class is going to wind up. So, children, the next class onwards.
Yes, ma'am.
In the next class, I would like to plan about the osmosis and diffusion. So experiments also I would like to discuss with you people. And reminding that,
Yes, okay, ma'am.
so beginning of the class, I would like to ask a few questions based on the previous lectures. Okay, what you need to do is that anyhow we can know prepare for the class so far what we covered. Okay, understand?
Okay, ma'am.
I think next week you are going to have the exam, right?
Okay,
Am I
ma'am.
right?
Okay.
Okay, get prepared for the exam. And
Yes, ma'am.
now see, we have seen osmosis and the diffusion. So the solution which have the lower concentration than others. So there are different types of solutions like isotonic, okay, hyper and hypotonic solutions. So about all these things in the next class, I would like to give the brief discussion. So very important thing based on this concept, so many bits are there. Okay, so endosmosis, movement of water
Okay, ma'am.
inside the cell is called endosmosis. Okay, it is completely based on the concentration gradient, students. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
So
Okay.
far we discussed semi-permeable cell membrane, multicellular, unicellular. Okay, and one more important point,
Diffusion.
students, basing on the nuclear envelope, cells are divided into two types: prokaryotic cell and the eukaryotic cell. Prokaryotic
Okay, ma'am.
means here the nucleus is not having any nuclear envelope. Eukaryotic means here the nucleus is surrounded by the envelope. Okay, basing on the presence of nuclear envelope, cells are again divided into two types: prokaryotes and the eukaryotes. Understand?
You can. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, children. Thank you so much. Have a nice day, all.
Okay.
Thank you,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay. Bye, Emma.
Thank you, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Okay, ma'am.